I'd known about this sculpture for a time prior to seeing it firsthand. I expected that it would be robust and powerful. When I first laid eyes on it, it truly does have that power and energy. But I was not anticipating how sensitive it is. I was really genuinely surprised and happy to see the human nature that was depicted in their facial features. It's majestic. It's everything you expect from a Xunde work. My name is Phyllis Kao, and I'm a specialist in Chinese works of art at Sotheby's, New York. This is a gilt lacquer, gesso, and polychrome wood figure of Jinasagara Avalokiteshvara and consort, Ocean of Conquerors. This sculpture is from the early 15th century, from the Xunde period. This is the first time that I've ever seen Jinasagara Avalokiteshvara in the flesh. Avalokiteshvara is known as the goddess of compassion, by far the most depicted deity in Chinese Buddhist art. Avalokiteshvara here has 4 arms and is in yabyum, blissful union with a consort, which is a tantric form. Xunde period tantric or Vajrayana Buddhist sculpture is much more rare than, say, Yongle period, because the relationship between China and Tibet during that period was not quite as close as during the Yongle period. And consequently, there were fewer objects of tantric Buddhist influence or Vajrayana Buddhist influence in China. So to have this wood sculpture still from that period survive today is amazing. You can still see the red in her hair with layers of gesso and lacquer, polychrome, and gilding over all of that. The consort, the dakini, still holds the kartrika, the flaying knife, and it's free-moving within her hands. To have that retained is phenomenal. One of my favorite parts of this sculpture visually is actually Avalokiteshvara's back. It's so fabulously ornamented and still in quite good condition. You can see all of the relief carving beautifully, and it's so detailed. When a Buddhist sculpture is made, there's always a consecration ceremony where monks will continuously pray and put precious objects and sutra scrolls inside of a Buddhist sculpture. In this case, there's a chamber inside of his body, and the base is covered and sealed. The sculpture has been x-rayed, and it was thrilling to find that the consecration materials are still within the chamber. And the fact that these still remain after almost 600 years is fantastic. It's also amazing that the wood base is still with the sculpture. And we're quite sure that this is the original base because the other sculpture, the only other sculpture that we know of from this series at the Pacific Asia Museum in Pasadena, has the same wood base. I know that this is probably the one time I'll ever be able to handle a sculpture like this in my career, in my life. It's such an honor to be in its presence and to be, someone that was part of its history. This is an exceptionally rare opportunity to own an important work in the history of Chinese Buddhist art.